What's up, everybody? This is Killer Arcade Games. I'm Chris, and today we're going to be diving back into another ultra nerdy arcade video. And I say ultra nerdy because I thought I was the only nerd who enjoyed this stuff, but we're going to be going through the arcade service menus of Hydro Thunder. So here we are sitting with Hydro Thunder, Midway game from 1998. I'm looking up at the marquee, I don't see it. 98, I believe, right there on the screen. 1998, okay. Now, this is the very first arcade game to ever be PC-based. There is a full-size PC in the back of this cabinet. In fact, it's very noisy. All the fans in there are running. The fans are probably a little worn out, so they're a little noisier. But it was a very interesting one. I remember when I worked at an arcade that had this, I was very curious. Like, this game looks amazing. I want to see what's in the back of it. So I went around the back of the machines, kind of looked around because I wasn't really supposed to. I wasn't, like, at that level to be opening the machines back then, but I had to take a peek. Took a peek inside and was stunned that there is a PC in the back. I was like, how does this work? I've never seen anything like this. So it turns out it was the first game. Stephen Rank, who is the guy who, the main guy who invented the game, confirmed it for me on another video I've done about the game. So it's pretty cool. So what we're gonna do is dive into the service menus right now by opening the coin door. There are 4 buttons. I'll try to get a shot of this to overlay. 4 buttons that are on the inside wall. And you press the first one. Oh, the game's loading, so it probably won't work. There we go. Press the first one, and there we have it. So we're in the service menu. We have the Hydro Thunder free play on, network play offline. These were linkable up to 4 cabinets, if I'm not mistaken, made by Midway. Pretty fancy service menu. So this game was developed on a PC, and it was intended to be put on a custom PCB, like most other arcade games. San Francisco Rush is sitting next to me, came out around the same time. It's a very nice looking racing game as well. And it's on a single board PCB. This game was intended to do that, but there was a problem getting either the hardware wasn't done in time, or they realized they needed the extra power of an actual PC, and somehow Stephen Rank talked the people in Midway into putting PCs in every one of the games. So maybe that means we got more of a service menu than normal, or maybe it just, you know, is how it was going to look anyway. But here we are. We're going to go right into the diagnostics, and I'm sorry that I'm having to get so close to the screen or the camera. It's just that the only way you can navigate the menus is using the buttons inside the coin door. And they're not like Killer Instinct where the buttons are on the coin door, they're on the wall of the cabinet. So let's start with the switch and lamp tests. My lamps do not work. They did work, but I went to replace the light bulb on the throttle, and by doing so, I took the throttle off. And when I put it back on, I apparently pinched one of the cables in there, and it caused a fuse to blow in the cabinet. I replaced the fuse, and it kept blowing again, and like an idiot, we tried to run it. We tried to force it, basically. And it started smoking, so we had to turn it off. So as of now, my lamps don't work. My monitor, or my marquee works, but my button lights do not work. I could probably fix it, I just haven't done it yet. But there we go. You test by pressing the buttons. Also, it tests the buttons up here. We've got the high, the low, the pilot view, the boost. The other buttons are tested inside the cabinet. We don't have to worry about it, but you can see it keeps track of the wheel. That's turned all the way to the left. We're going to go to the right slowly so you can just see the numbers changing. Maximum is 255. Minimum is 0. So when it's in the middle, it should be about, you know, that's pretty much centered, so it looks like it's not exactly sure where it needs to be. The potentiometers are pretty good in this cabinet, though. The throttle, I'm going to try to do with my other hand here. We bring it all the way down. Throttle's at 0. Bring it up to the middle, and it kind of rests at 125, then you push it the rest of the way up to 255. Everything seems to be calibrated pretty well. There is a calibration option in here, which we might do. Got out of that menu. We can do a hard drive test. Now let's just do it for fun. That was very quick. Checking for C, C passed. Checking for D, D passed. So that was very fast. Stereo sound test. Let's see. Press test button to begin. So that's playing the 2 speakers at the top. We're going to press it. This is the seat, which is the subwoofer in the seat. And sound tests are complete. Not very detailed there. Monitor patterns menu are the exact same across pretty much all machines. Actually, this one you can scroll through them by pushing these buttons. Ooh, that is bright. This is a beautiful monitor, by the way. It's in great shape thanks to my friend Wicked Arcade. He did a great cap kit for me and a new, look at that. That's just a black screen, by the way. Yeah, it's just like off. He did a new flyback and everything. This is a, I don't know what that is. That would be 50% gray, 25% gray, and then off. So, yeah. Force feedback adjustment menu. So, use force feedback. You can turn it off if you'd like, which I don't recommend. It's not as much fun when it's off, but if you have a lot of little kids playing this, you either need to turn it off or turn the feedback adjustment way down. I have it at 60%, and this thing's pretty powerful even at 60%. I don't know what the feedback center test is. Oh wow, I had the wheel perfectly centered. Look at that. I don't really know, I don't know what this is. We're just gonna back out. Okay, let's get out of that menu. The Watchdog reset test. I'm gonna leave that alone because I believe that's going to reboot the machine, and this machine takes quite a while to reboot, which you will see later. The game audits menu. This is always my favorite. So when I got this cabinet, I got it used from a guy down near, literally near the border of Texas and Mexico. Almost said Texaco. Turns out this machine was actually in the location, not the location I worked at, not that I can prove, but this machine used to be at the chain that I worked at in high school, and again later in life. I worked there as a second job, Mr. Gaddy's. Mr. Gaddy's in Texas is a pizza buffet for most parts of Texas, a pizza buffet and a arcade, a very large arcade. So it was cool to find tokens, tickets. The front of the coin door is mangled because they put a card system in it, and I know the card system, and it's a horrible card system. Their new one is better. So I went through the machine and took screenshots of everything after I got a hold of this before resetting it. So this game, I'm pretty sure there's an error in it, and it might just be an error all the way around, like it may not be reading accurately. The power on time when I got it was at -12 hours, -12 minutes, so that's a little fishy. The time spent in a race was at 254 days, 11 hours, and 31 minutes. That's an odd number, because as you saw earlier, 255 seemed to be the max limit that the steering records, and that may just be a coincidence, but I have a weird feeling there is a glitch in the reading, but it did have, the left coin counter had a total of 193,725 credits go through it. So let's do the math on how much that would have been. 193,725 times 0.25, $48,431. I just, if that's a glitch, that's crazy, or if that's not a glitch, that's crazy. That's a huge amount of plays. Now it does show here, games played, 152,602. So this machine saw some serious action, or these numbers are completely broken, but they look to be accurate. Continues, 40,576. Starts, like how many times I guess the game started, I don't know. All the times the time expired. 2-player races, which the arcade I worked at had 2 of these linked together. So this could be accurate information. Let's see though. When I got a hold of it, I reset all that information to log my own time. Let's see what we got. Game statistics. This game has now been on for 14 days, 2 hours and 21 minutes. I've spent 1 day, 17 hours and 14 minutes of race time. I can tell you I am probably all of that minus 1 hour. I pretty much am the only one who ever plays this machine. My wife plays it occasionally. I've had guests occasionally who have played it. But that's it. Power on time since reset, which is interesting. It's at 0. Let's go over here to audits totals. I've played 1,151 games. I've done 667 continues. You get the point. That's crazy. Audits by track. It breaks it down super deep. We're not going to go too far into it. If you want to pause and look at any of these, I'll go through them slowly. Did we skip the first page? Ship Graveyard, Lost Island, Venice Canals, Lake Powell, my favorite, by the way, Arctic Circle, Nile Adventure, New York Disaster, Greek Isles, Far East, not my favorite as you can tell, or Thunder Park. I don't like Thunder Park. Hydro Speedway is a hidden track, so you got that. Let's look at the audits by boat. Banshee has been picked a whopping 7 times. Tidal Blade's probably my favorite. Rad Hazard's second favorite. The rest of these are like guess, or when I've told Lady Cag to pick an easier boat so she doesn't get thrown all over the place. Chum Dinger, this is a hidden boat. Also a hidden boat, also a hidden boat, and also a hidden boat. So yeah, interesting. I think it's interesting to see these audits. I love that it keeps track of that. Now let's get into the adjustments menu. Let's go to the general adjustments. Metric, I have it set to off because I'm an American. I'm a patriot. Uh, anyway, we have it off, so I know what the heck is going on. Free play is set to on. If you see it in yellow, it is not a factory setting, by the way. Free race for first place, it's on. Doesn't matter, the machine's in free mode, but it does actually change how the game plays, and I'll quickly go over that. So when I first sit down to play, I'm pretty darn good at the game now. When I first sit down to play, I start my first game, I will get a first place almost every time. You'll get a free race. After that, I can run the best run of my life. It does not matter. You will not get first place because you're not getting another free game. I find that interesting. You know, the game's like, look, we'll give you one free game. You're not getting 2 in a row, which is fine. Minimum multiplayer for free race. Oh, okay. So you can set, like, say you have 4 machines linked. If only 2 people sit down, you're not giving away a free race, or you don't want to, you can probably change that setting there. Let's check it out, actually. Yeah, so you can have the minimum for a free. I would say if I had 4 machines, I would put 3 personally too. But we're going to just leave that alone. Enable all boats. I don't remember having to unlock boats, but I do remember having to unlock tracks. And this is so annoying. If you run an arcade and you're not charging people per play, you're doing a free play model, please, for the love of God, go into this setting and unlock all the tracks. Tornado Terry's is a good example of this. In not Fort Worth, it's near Fort Worth, in Keller, Texas, there is an arcade that's Tornado Terry's. It's awesome. The poor guy died recently. His family still runs it, and they didn't have all the tracks unlocked. And last time I was there, Terry was still alive. I probably should have asked him about it, but I never did. So I had to sit there and race repeatedly just to unlock some of my favorite tracks. Drives me crazy. Just go in here, unlock all tracks. That's all you got to do. It's free play. You don't have to incentivize to keep playing more. Cabinet type. This is interesting. I'm not going to change it. There were 3 different types of cabinet. I don't know if there's 3 different options, and I'm afraid to look. There's a stand-up version, which I don't know why anybody would buy. There is a sit-down version, a 25-inch, which is this one. And then there was a giant, I believe, a 33-inch monitor deluxe edition. Could be wrong on the size. 33, 37, 39, could be one of those. Maybe even a 36. And that beast, I guess you can just change it. I don't really know what it changes that much, but it can change a few things, obviously. And the pricing, we're doing custom pricing, blah, blah. Feedback adjustment, which is weird because that just takes you to the menu. We were already there. This is an interesting one, too. Hold on a second. I almost blew right past this. Selection time adjustments menu. So I noticed this at Tornado Terry's as well. The time to select your boat was like, and track was much longer than I'd ever seen. So you can actually go up here and change that, which is interesting. I mean, you can set this. Let's see how far it goes. Okay, you can go all the way up to give people an entire minute to select their track, which is nuts. I don't know what the factory setting is because it doesn't say. I think it's like 19. Nope, I don't know. Interesting, but I set mine to 15. That seems fair, you know. High score time is where you get to put in your time. I guess you can change that too. Continue time also goes like that. Reset times to defaults. Let's see just for fun. Okay, I had mine at defaults. For some reason, the continue time was 17. I like it at 20. I don't like 17. So there you go. That's that. Let's go to the difficulty adjustment menu. This is crazy. So I'm pretty sure mine are set mostly to default. Okay, difficulties. 1 is the easiest. 100 is the hardest. There are that many different settings. You can change the track difficulty all the way to the AI difficulty, which is nuts. Like, why are there so many options? This game is fine-tuned, basically. I think mine are set at 40. I think that's fair. I think 50 is fair as well. Very interesting, though. Limit free races to 50%. Maybe that's why I can't get 2 in a row. Let's look at that setting. Just, oh, wrong button. Let's look at that real quick. 5. Oh, wow. So again, oh, wait, 13. Wow. 13% chance is the default. That's crazy. I guess I'll just leave it there. Might as well. Reset track defaults. We don't need to do any of that. Network adjustment menu. Network enabled is off. Unit ID, which I believe if you had 4 units, 4 machines, you'd have to assign one an ID that doesn't match any of the others. I could be wrong. Maybe it auto assigns if you have them all set up on a switch, but that may be the case. Wait for operator. That one is interesting. I assume, I don't know how that worked. Maybe there was a way to have a 5th thing on the network and there could be like an attendant and be like, all right, we're going to get everyone in order and then they push the button to start the game? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how that worked. Set time and date. This, oh, see, it's always off. And I'm pretty sure my coin battery is good, so that's a little sad, but there we go. I think it's been on 28 minutes since I booted it up today. I don't know why that happens. You know what, let's not even bother setting it, because it's a long process. The game utilities menu, if you're familiar with my other videos on this, these are very straightforward. They say what they do. Clear the credits, reset operator settings, reset. You can basically just take it back all the way to the factory settings, or here's an option you don't see in arcade games as far as I know, especially back then, save audits to floppy disk. Yes, this machine had a floppy disk drive. Mine no longer does. When I bought it, the PC had been kind of torn up a little bit, and the floppy disk drive is long gone. But I wonder how many people actually did that. Volume menu. Look at this. There's a lot of settings in here. It's crazy. Master volume. For some reason, 12% is a lot. So let's see if I can let you hear it. Yeah. 12%. That's all I have it set to. The seat rumble, which is the subwoofer behind me in the seat, is set to 70%. Any higher, it starts to kind of distort a little bit, and I don't want to blow this subwoofer. It's an old speaker, so we don't do it. Attract music is set to on by default. What I love about this machine is the attract music can get pretty, is it redundant? I don't know. It can get old quickly, basically, because it's the same tune that just keeps playing over and over. And except for the credits, where the credits roll, it plays different music. But you can turn the volume down, and this is the volume level I have. Holy crap. I don't know why it was so much louder than the master volume, but that's a good setting for me. It's quiet enough where it doesn't annoy me, but it's still cool. I'm not going to calibrate the steering and throttle, because all you basically do is reset the values, turn it all the way left, all the way right, all the way down, all the way up, press buttons, and that's that. So I think I'm going to show you guys the boot up process now. And now keep in mind, this game takes forever to boot up. I think I clocked it one time at about 1:30. So you turn it on. I remember this happened to me once at the arcade. I was curious. I wanted to see what would happen, and I pretended, oh, it's frozen, which I've never, ever seen this game freeze. Turned one machine off, turned it back on, ran around the front to see what happened, and nothing happened. I was terrified I somehow broke it. They were going to be mad at me. But it just stays on a black screen for like 45 seconds or so, and you think the machine's not working. Now, if you're in a quiet room, you'll hear the PC is making a series of beeps, and that is like an indication that things are working as it's moving along, and then the screen shows up with the loading stuff and all that. But I think I'm going to insert an old video I have of the startup, and the reason for that is I placed one of my wireless mics inside the machine and one outside, and you can hear all the PC beep noises. So it's from the garage back when I didn't have the Shedcade. Well, guys, that's it. It's one of the most interesting ones that I've ever seen in an arcade game personally. And if you're in the room, and I hope you're able to hear it in the video, you can hear the hard drive working, which somehow, as far as I know, this machine still has its original hard drive, which blows my mind. It's a quantum something hard drive, and it's still in there and it's still working, and you can hear it, especially when none of the other games are on. You can hear that thing in there churning away through the hard or the data. I refuse to replace it until it dies, and unfortunately when it does die I will have to put a flash kit in it. But it's so cool that it's still there and it still works. Blows my mind. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. This one was one I was kind of saving for you to watch. Now we still have Rush the Rock. Rush the Rock also has a lot of settings because it's a racing game. There's a lot of components to it. Pretty interesting stuff, so I hope you'll subscribe if you're new so you can see that video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the Hydro Thunder service menus. We also have, assuming it's going to work, Target Terror, which has a lot of options as well, including violence options, which I always find interesting that they can program all that in. But also, Target Terror is a PC-based game. It's a newer arcade game, so it's not that shocking. But I guess with PC-based games, you have a huge amount of options, which is quite interesting. Unfortunately, the game is giving me trouble, and it may or may not be working, but hopefully it'll be working by the time that video comes out. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I'll see you on the next video.